Hello, hello, my sweet, sweet children, their sweet, sweet mothers, and not to miss sweet, sweet papas. So, Dilliwalinani is back again to tell you all a story which you can share with all your friends. It's a very cute story which I had heard from an aunt of mine when I was very young, and it has stayed with me all these years. So, I want to share it with you. So, long, long ago, there was a kingdom, and the kingdom had a very nice king. He was very benevolent, very good, and had a very large heart. But unfortunately, he did not have any child. So the courtiers were very worried. They said, we need an heir to the throne. So we need to train a child to become the king after you. If something happens to you, who will be the next king? So the king said, okay, I can do one thing. Why don't I adopt a child from my own kingdom? And I will make him the heir to the throne after training him. So the pursuit to select the right child began. And they invited all the children, all the boys especially, from the kingdom who were between the age of 7 to 12. And they were all invited to the palace and they were treated to a lunch while the courtiers watched them. They spoke to them, wrote down their names, addresses, and also judged them on their capabilities. They were made to play games, they were made to ride the horse, and they were all given marks to see who was the strongest and who had the kind of capability and heir to the throne a future king might need. So all of them performed really well. They did their best. But the king said that I want to do another small test before I take the decision. And so, a bunch of them, about 50, 60 of them were selected as among the top, children who could be the heir to the throne. So what the king did was he brought some seeds, and to all those 60 children, he gave one seed each. And he told them, go home, sow them in a pot. Sow your seed in a pot. Everybody was given one seed each. So sow it in a pot and then look after it and bring it back to me after 3 months. So I will decide after that. So everybody said, okay, he's going to look at the kind of plant we are able to nurture and, take the decision on that. So they went home, they shared it with their parents, and they all of them brought lovely pots, and they decided to sow the seed in the pot and then really took care of it, watered it, put it out in the sun. And after 3 months, it was time to go back to the palace. Now there was this one little boy called Priyansh. Now Priyansh somehow did everything possible to get a plant out of his seed, but nothing happened. Every day he would go check it, he would water it, sometimes put it in the sun, but just the plant or the sapling just didn't come out. So, but he didn't give up. He kept, looking after it. And when he discussed it with his mother said, some seeds take longer to sprout, so don't worry, it will sprout. So you just keep taking care of it. So that went on, but nothing really happened to his pot. Nothing came out of the seed. Now it was time to go back to the palace. So it was 3 months up, his pot did not have a plant. But the mother told him that you please go back with the pot and just tell the king that this is what has happened. And you are still waiting for it to sprout and you're doing your best. So there is nothing to fear. So Priyansh agreed and he went. Now in the palace, everybody had come with beautiful plants in their pots. Some had lovely foliage, some even had small fruits hanging there. Some even had, almost 4 feet tall plants that had come out of their seeds. So Priyansh was very impressed by all the other pots, and the people, the boys who had brought them. And but he did not lose his hold. He just waited to tell the king that this is what has happened. I mean, it's not his fault. He's done his best. So the king came and he looked at all the plants, and then he suddenly saw Priyansh with an empty pot. So he asked him, he said, "What's wrong with you? Why is there no plant in your pot?" So Priyansh said, "Your Majesty, I tried my best. The plant has not yet come out, but it surely will, because my mother has told me that some seeds take longer than the others to sprout." So the king just smiled at him and he said, "Okay, boy, keep at it." And he went back to his throne. And when he went and sat on his throne, he called for Priyansh. And now Priyansh was really scared at that point of time. So his heart went thud, thud, thud. What is the king going to say? Is he going to, embarrass me in front of everybody? But then he said, "It's okay. Whatever it is, I'll go." So he took his pot and he went to the king. And the king just called him up. He picked him up, made him sit in his lap, and he announced that Priyansh was going to be the next heir to the throne. Everybody was surprised. My God, why has he selected Priyansh? His pot did not even have a plant. So when they asked the king said, "You know what? The seeds that I had given you all were not capable of sprouting. None of them could have sprouted a plant. And there's only this one young boy among all of you who is not only honest, but he's also had the courage to come and tell me that this is what has happened to his pot. So I don't need to say more to you, but don't you think that the next heir to the throne, the king, needs to be honest and needs to be a courageous person? Are those qualities not the most important for a king to have?" So all the courtiers really cheered him and they accepted Priyansh as their next heir to the throne. And the rest of them who had thought that they could delude the king by, planting some other plants and bringing their pots with lovely plants in them, they realized that it was their biggest mistake to have been dishonest. So you can be dishonest and think that you're doing the right thing, and for a while you may feel very happy and proud of yourself, but ultimately it's the honesty that wins the game. Honesty is the best policy, and I would like that thought to remain in your minds, my dear children. Always be authentic, always be honest. There is no need to fear anything, because as in Hindi they say, "Saach ko aach nahi." Always be truthful, always believe in yourself and believe in truth. So this is with lots of love to all of you. This is your Dilliwalinani signing off. If you enjoyed the story, do share it, give me some comments and show some love. Subscribe to my channel if you still haven't done it, because I'll be coming with more stories for you very soon. And that reminds me, I must tell you about this teacher of mine also, who once came to my class and she drew an S and then she drew a T over it and she made a little parrot, a polly on it. And she told us, "What do you see?" So we were looking and thinking and saying, "Oh, that's a parrot, ma'am." She said, "No, it is on ST. I see the best is the best Paul I see." So honesty is the best policy. So that picture has also stayed in my mind, and just wanted to share it with all of you. And on that note, I'm going to say bye to you. The year is about to end. Christmas is about to come. And let's move into the next year with this very authentic thought in our minds always, that no matter what happens, we will stay honest to the core. Love you all.